Hey y'all, it's Diana again. Well, tonight I'm doing my first installment of Trannie Granny. Some people are not going to like that, and others will. So I'm doing it for those who will. Give it one for the old team. Tonight, I'm going to show y'all how I pull myself together from poor old Granny Trannie to Diana. You can see without a brassiere, I have very saggy babies. I'm 63. I've had my implants since I was 19. These very same implants. So they have just over the years, as I gain weight and lost weight and gain weight and lost weight, they have started to sag. But the thing that I don't care about is the fact that they're doing exactly like my mother's did. They did exactly like all the ladies in my families did. Why would I want to be any different from those ladies? I don't. I mean, just like anybody, my mother and all these people who have saggy breasts, my mother's gone, but when she was alive, of course she wore the best foundation garment so that she still looked like she had some perky babies there, but she would have never thought about having a breast implants and having surgery so that it would boof her boobs up, because she was proud of what she had. And that's the way I feel. I'd much rather live and look like a real woman my age than some woman who has beautiful perky breasts all the time. I would not feel myself to be totally normal. And I like that. So, I'm going to show you what to do, or what I do, to pull myself together. Okay. So here we are. I have on an underwire French cut lace bra. I've worn these kind of bras most of my adult life when I wanted to look good, look sexy, when I wanted to pull the cleavage up, pull them girls up. So I've always had several in my closet. And I'll tell y'all how I achieved this whenever I was in my teens, late teens. Because I had developed a boy breast and I had some meat to work with, I would take a French cut bra that was like a size or two smaller than what I needed, so that they fit real tight around my chest. And I would take those and cut off the fabric part of the bra, just leaving the wires and the handles here. But because of it being tighter around here, I could pull that meat up and over those wires, and I could wear tops and things so that my breasts would show through. It wouldn't have the bra covering it, my nipples and everything would be showing through my tops. And I was young, I wanted to look cute in my little halter tops and my tube tops and things, and that let me do that. Plus, later on, you'll hear how I was able to work and to make the money for my surgery. And that little trick came in really handy until I was able to get my breast implants. So that's another trick some girls can do. It'll make you feel like you're totally natural, girls. And you've just taken those wires and tightened them up and pulled your own flesh over it. So if you've already got some tissue there and or fleshier. If you've lost weight, you're going to have that skin there, and it's going to pull those over and make you feel like a big girl. Okay, that was one of my little tricks. So now I'm going to start doing my makeup to show you how an old lady can pull herself together and look a wee bit better. I've never considered myself attractive without makeup. When I was young, I never felt that way. It wasn't until after I pulled all this together that I feel attractive, because it got people's attention and people were always saying, oh, you're beautiful. You had the most beautiful skin. But if I went out during the daytime with no makeup on, I mean, I just kind of blended in with everybody else. I never had people to say, oh, you're a man or nothing. But they did not. I didn't draw their attention. I think I was just something about me. My eyes are big, but without makeup, they have an appearance of frog's eyes, big bulgy eyes. And I inherited those from my father. But on me, they just didn't look that good. Not in my opinion. And so I always tried to go out with at least mascara. And I always had circles under my eyes, so I would put some CoverGirl liquid under my eyes and put some lip gloss on, and I would feel like I was okay then, after I at least put some mascara to try to sink those eyes back in my head. But when I started wearing a lot of eyeshadow in the evenings when I would go out, I wore dark browns completely over my lid up into the crease, and then some white up underneath my eyebrow. That was my look, with lots of mascara. That was my look for at least 10 years. I liked it. I felt like it looked good on me, made me look like my eyes were sunk in my head. And I didn't start doing 2 and 3 tones until later. They became popular in the Cosmo magazine. When Cosmopolitan would come out with a new makeup tip, of course I had to try it. You know, that's what I thought was fun. Playing with being a girl, you know. I think that we should take the time to experiment with different makeup techniques. Don't get bogged down into something and say, well, this is what I like and I'm not going to change, because they may something else be much better. Something else may make you look a lot better. It just depends. So play with it. Don't get caught into one simple thing. So I've got something here. This is a picture that was made of me when I was 23 years old. And I've got a problem here. It got moisture, and the paper is attached to the glass, and the glass is broke, see? I need somebody to tell me, is there a way for me to get this picture, this paper, away from the glass without messing up the emulsion? On some other pictures, I've tried different things, and it wound up making the emulsion smear. So I don't want to do that, because this is one of my older, better pictures, and it was taken a year that I was living here in Mississippi near my cousin Jean, and we were hanging out a lot, and we had went to have our pictures made at Sears. So it has some memory to me, and I'd like to be able to fix that if y'all could help me. Okay, so now, here we go with the makeup. I don't really like wearing a whole bunch of makeup, but I found this product. It's Illuminate, and it's instant lift makeup. It's got a lot of moisture in it, but this is a darker color than I normally wear, but I like to just do certain parts of my face with it. And then I can come back with a lighter color to actually serve as a contour. And that's one thing that I tell you, on my photographs and videos, I contour the heck out of my face. Because I've got good bone structure, but there's certain things about my face that I don't like. And I try to go over that with some contour. And I've also got these spots here in the center of my eye, right there in the crease. I'm lucky they're in the crease. But they're called cholesterol spots. I've got some here under my eyes too. Funny thing is, I don't have the bad cholesterol in my, my blood. But it's just something that the doctors say are hereditary, and the only way I can actually get rid of it is to go to a doctor that specializes in that kind of thing, and get them lasered off. So the ones in the crease would probably go away if I had an eye lift. They would just cut them right out, but I doubt that will happen. So with my makeup that I wear, it normally camouflages it except in bright sunlight, and there's nothing you can do about it in bright sunlight. But you can look up right in here. They're ugly. They're just things that old people get. And I'm trying to cover up here. Sometimes I'm sure you've seen this here. It's a place that I got a burn. Many years ago, I had a microwave up on a shelf that was in my computer room many years ago when I first started using the computer. And I put a bag of microwave popcorn in that microwave. And when it was ready, I just opened the door and pulled it out. But I wasn't thinking, and the end that was had the openings was out this way, and it poured hot grease all over my chest. Oh, it hurt like hell. But the most thing is it scarred my cleavage here. So if I'm wearing something that's going to show my cleavage, I try to at least, make that up some. And here I'm using a little bit of contour. It's light powder, and it just camouflages that burn spot. Okay, now that I got this out, I'll just go ahead and contour a little bit on my face since I've got the basic. So I'm using this darker brown here, and I'm taking that and going up under my neck. Now this is so good for taking some pounds off of your face. And then because I've got a saggy neck, I come down into my neck some. Now you have to make sure to blend this good. Blend this so that it doesn't look just like you've got a stopping point there, that it just kind of blends in with the rest of you. Okay, now I'm using this here. I got this first at Walmart, so now they sell it at Dollar General. And it's just instant age rewind. And it's like a contour concealer. It's liquid and it gets pushed up to this little wand. And I use that for the really bad places under my eyes. Put it down the center of my nose so it sort of tries to straighten that really crooked nose. Now, if you ever try this, it might take you a while to figure out the color that you can use that looks good. This is the darkest color that they made. I'm presuming they just make it in Caucasian colors because there wasn't anything in any kind of darker color. This was the darkest they had. Then I go around. I've always done this. For some reason, it made me feel like, maybe it did or didn't, I don't know. But I always felt like that it made my cheekbones, that are natural, there's no pumping here, look larger when I did this underneath here. I feel like it makes this definition right in here. What do you think? Doesn't it give an instant definition there? I have to be careful about my forehead. If you look real close, you'll see all these wrinkles in my forehead. Well, that was not always there. My forehead was real smooth, and there was none of this male brow that you can see here now. Lynn Conway told me about this. She says when you start getting a certain age, you lose all this baby fat that was in our faces. And that's what's happened here. So when the baby fat went, all the wrinkles came, and it was an indention right here that caused this wrinkle here and caused it to look more like a male brow than it ever did before. So you have to kind of, well, I have to try to camouflage it with my makeup, because right in here it will shine lighter than the rest of the face because of the gully that it's produced in here. So I try to lighten it up in here, and I see the natural light here, so then I come up above that with more contour to try to make it match in color of what this looks like. So then it actually takes away some of that male browness. A lot of people say, you don't have a male brow. I said, you don't look close enough. Because I was born biologically male. So I do have those traits. They were subtle, but they come out eventually. And if I had the money, I would have them to cut me along the hairline and shave that off. I sure would. I'd have my eyes done. I'd have my neck done. I'd have all that shit done. But I just wouldn't want to have the kind of stuff that would make me look like somebody else. Because sometimes some people can just go carried away. Okay, now I'm using some more on this palette, which is kind of a blushy color. And I'm doing it in a scoop. That's what gives me this big cheekbone effect. And I've been doing this since the 70s. Once they taught us on Cosmopolitan how to make yourself look like you had cheekbones when you didn't. It was scooping it here. And then we put some highlight right on the bone. Okay, now I'm using this bronzing powder. And it's real light in color. You can see the signs of that's what color it is. And it's a shimmer. It makes your skin just glow like it's a natural thing. And with just like anything else, you've got to blend that. You can't just leave it on there like that. You look like something from outer space. So when you're done, it just makes you look like you've got a healthy glow. I love that. I love having what looks like a healthy glow. But of course I wouldn't wear this extensive of a makeup during the day. Now when I go out, I always do my eyes, even if I don't do the whole 9 yards. Because I don't want to look ugly in person. Okay, so now we're going to work on the eyes. And like I told you, I have to cover those spots there. And I just use a inexpensive makeup palette. And I make sure I've got some dark browns and things in here. And how I start off figuring out which color I want is I put it on the wand and I just go into the area and see if it sort of blends out those spots, because those spots are always lighter in color than my skin, so they usually stand out. But see, it's right in where the crease starts. So that's the only place I put this particular color. But later on you can go back to my other videos and see. You can see it on all those videos. No, not the ones that I'm, Diana during broad daylight now. Usually I don't have any makeup on them though. Some I do, depends on if I'm having to go out in public. But if I'm just driving straight to Miss Jean's house, I try not to put on very much. But she does like me to wear makeup because I think it makes her feel that I'm not quite as ugly. She said, "You're the only person I know that more makeup you put on, the less you look like you got on." But somebody said that Rhoda's sister said that to her on the first episode of Rhoda. She said, "The more you put on, the least you look like you got on." Okay, now let's put on a little something to pizzazz it up. Let's see. I don't know. What about a little orange? I'm really lucky that so far my eyes have, even though they've aged, especially underneath, but I'm lucky that I haven't got too awfully much in my eyes themselves that I can still pull off something like this. I've been really lucky. I have been really lucky throughout my life. And I know that. I appreciate the fact that I was lucky. Because, I mean, I was just like the rest of y'all. I was born a boy. I spent many a late night looking in my mirror, trying to see how I could look like a girl. You know? I wanted to be a pretty girl like everybody wanted to be a pretty girl. And when I first had people telling me I was a pretty girl, honey, it was the best feeling in the world. Because I wanted it just like the rest of y'all wanted it. You know? So I'm not somebody who thinks I'm all that. I'm somebody who is so glad that I was what I was. Baby, I appreciated it. Beep-ah. Okay, now I'm put a little highlighter underneath the brow. Okay. It's kind of chilly in this room. Okay, this right here is an eyebrow trio thing. And I used the black as eyeliner because it stays on, because it's made for the brows, which is made to stay on. And for number 2, you can smudge it in to where it doesn't look like a hard line. And who needs more lines? So I can put this thing on lickety-split. And I took the pointy end like this and did it across. Now I take the flat end and smudge it up. I kind of go up on the ends here. A semi-cat eye. Now what really does it in, now I take the dark brown instead of the black to go underneath the eye. And this is one thing I do not do ever in public. For videos and pictures and things fun like that, it really finishes up the eye. But not in public, not for me, because I think it makes me look a little bit like a whore. So I will do the top like this if I'm going out somewhere special. But the bottom, all I will use is mascara. But tonight, anything goes. Okay, I know I'm taking up a lot of time, and y'all can click off anytime you want. But now I'm doing my eyebrows. See, I've got a pencil with the lid that's a sharpener, so I keep it sharp. So I try to go in here. You know, I'm like Brittany. I like a thinner eyebrow. Now, I've been through those stages. Back in the 70s, we called it the Brooke Shield eyebrow because she wore the thick eyebrows back then. So I know anytime it came in, I wore it for a while because I liked it. I liked to be modern, whatever the modern styles were. I tried it on, but I never really, really liked it on my face. I think a thinner brow was always better for my face. My eyebrow form needed something lighter and more delicate. So that's one of the things you need to think about. Just because something is fashionable doesn't always mean that it's right for you. Okie dokie, okie dokie. I left my little wand in here in my bag. Maybe I'll have to cut some of this stuff out. Okay. I've got a little wand that's like a mascara. But you see, it's so small, it's made to do your brows with. And I like to use this because even though I want them thin, I like them to have that little wispy look. So I can draw those to, and they'll stay that way because it being this mascara kind of this stuff on here, it will dry and make the eyebrows stay that way. Now before I discovered this, what I would take is an old mascara brush, and after I got it all finished, I would spray it with hairspray and do my brows so they'd stay in place. Okay, now we're going to curl our eyelashes. I'm not putting on false eyelashes. I bought several pair, but the last ones I put on really irritated me. Made me feel like that my eyes was trying to stick me in the head or something. But if you curl them, and then you mascara them good, unless you have really thin eyebrows, you can have enough. And I haven't tried it, but I'm going to start getting some of those smaller ones like Brittany put in. Just on the edges where you want some eyelashes curling up. Okay, that's one. One down. One to go. I make the ugliest faces whenever I put on mascara. Do y'all do the same thing? But you know, I mean, if you're not the person that gets into all this makeup, you can still experiment. You can still play around. There's always going to be activities and things that you might be invited to that you might want to wear a little extra. I mean, you don't have to do every single step that I did. You can just do some steps to try to bring it all together. I've got this gold mascara on the other end, and I've never tried it. That's a good time. I don't see any difference. Don't see any difference at all. Y'all see any difference? Okay, now we're going to go to the mouth. Now this is a techniques that I change around a good bit. I don't do these same techniques all the time. Plug and flip. Y'all see, this is me. I'm not professional. I ain't nothing. Oh my goodness. This is the book. If any of y'all have went over and seen my Granny Mae's comedy channel, this is the book that I used to do a lot of my comedy characters on there. Georgette Featherstone, she had the false nose and eyebrows all done way up, and I learned a lot from this particular book. Okay, now this is just my technique. There's hundreds of techniques on to do this, but I use a penciled eyeliner. Of course, I run it up bigger than my natural lips because, I mean, if y'all see Granny Mae, you know that I wear false teeth. So my mouth changed through the years, and it changed with my mother too because she had false teeth. And I have never had filler or anything on my lips, and so I tried to compensate for that with a pencil. I try to add a bow on my top of my lips. And my lips are not even anymore, so I try to even them out with the pencil. Okay. Now, this is a trick that's going around the internet, is you take a white pencil and you go right above, on top of the dark brown pencil. So what that does is it actually makes your lip pop as if it's naturally large. It's an illusion. Okay, next I'm just going to put Charlie lip gloss on here. I don't know if any of y'all remember Charlie products, but that was in the 70s and 80s, and I wore this lip gloss since 1975. Yeah, it was 1975 when I left home. I bought this exact color of Charlie lip gloss. But back then I didn't have to do the lines or anything. I had a pretty mouth, and all I did was just use the lip gloss because it's red and it's got some luscious color in it. And I loved it. And this is one of my original. I got this sometime in the late 80s when they were still, well, mid-80s when they were still carrying it. And so I've had some of this in my makeup all these years. So now we're going to do lip gloss. And this is my Charlie from the 70s and 80s. Okay. That nose still seems to cook in this. You know? So now we're going to do something about this hair. Something real easy. A fall. I used to wear these back in the 70s too, because I really didn't like to wear my own hair extremely long. But on occasion I like to have long hair. So I could put one in my hair. And it would be like instant, va-va-va-voom. So what do y'all think? Not too bad for a Trannie Granny. Okay, y'all. That's all I can do for tonight. I'm just wore out. Bye-bye.